Hey y'all, so welcome to my Real Housewives of New York review. Yeah, so last week the general consensus is it's just so polarizing right now. Like I want to say at least 70% of people are not liking the season, and then 30% they're like okay with it. They don't mind, particularly Ebony. Let's just get the elephant out the room. A lot of people are saying that Ebony is the problem with the season, like it's being too serious. People feel like they're watching CNN or Fox News, and people go to Housewives for escape. And you know what? It's hard. It really is hard for me because I love Ebony's presence on the show. Do not get me wrong, but I will say I can see how people can say they use it for escape. Like during 2020, The Real Housewives helped me so much. And I know it's a silly ass show, but it helped me escape a little bit from reality just to tune into the mess, the shade, and then the foolery, So I get it. People don't want to be reminded of 2020 or, be so serious on the topics. This is a silly show. So I get that. But again, I can see both sides. But anyway, let's get into the episode. So we open with Leah inviting all the ladies via FaceTime to Salem, Massachusetts as a getaway. This is in November, so I'm like, this would have been great during October, but this is interesting. This is an interesting choice. But it was during COVID. Where else could they go? Maybe Salem has other things to offer, kind of like Jekyll Island. Leah also tells Ramona to extend the invite to Brashon because they really had a good first impression between one another. They had a great interaction. And honestly, I want to see more of Brashon. And speaking of which, the next scene is Ramona meeting Brashon for lunch. Ramona's telling Brashon about her vertigo again and saying that's the reason why she left so early. Brashon is saying like, oh, okay, because I was wondering, was it because you had vertigo or because you just didn't like the event? And Ramona, who's the master of deflection, she's like, oh, did you not like the event? Like, I saw immediately what she was doing. She was trying to get Brashon to say she didn't like it. And Brashon was like, and it was a little teachy. I guess I wasn't feeling it. Ramona was just like agreeing with her. It was very Regina George and Mean Girls. I feel like Ramona didn't like the event either, but she didn't want to be the first one to say it because, of course, optics, the white woman not enjoying Harlem and hearing about black excellence. So she wanted to make sure the other black cast member had something to say about it first, and then she could just agree. We see you, Ramona. Now, in her confessional, Brashon said that the event was long-winded, but she appreciated what Ebony tried to do. And I gotta admit, that's my same sentiments. Like I said, like if I was there, I'd have been like, okay, where them appetizers at? And honestly, two things can be true at the same time. It can be long-winded, and I appreciated what she tried to do, though. Wow, so we found out they're going to Salem for 5 days. That's a long time. Hopefully, they have a better outcome than the Hamptons, because we lost the cast member right after that trip. Ramona is giving Brashon like a little disclaimer about the group, and Ramona says that she's in a good place with everyone right now, and which we know is a goddamn lie. Next scene, we're with Ebony, who is dressed like Olivia Pope. She looking clean in that white. All that's missing is like the white Birkin, or maybe I just didn't see it. But she and Sonia are both headed to Philly. If y'all remember, Ebony was telling Sonia that she has a matchmaker friend in Philly, and she wanted to hook Sonia up because Sonia deserves love. The topic of conversation between them is the chemistry that they have with each other, because I do like Sonia and Ebony together. And Sonia was just saying, I get you. And she let Ebony know about the conversation that she had with the OGs, that Ebony is very preachy or teachy. And Sonia says, I get where you're coming from. Like, Ebony is about her platform. Like, her platform is her business. And it's a cause that's very important to her. But I think it stuck with Ebony that Sonia said that they all think that you're preachy. Now, to be fair, Sonia is playing both sides of the fence because in that flashback, I remember in the last episode, she was trying to wonder herself when was Ebony gonna lighten up a little bit. Ebony is saying that she just wants the other ladies to get to know who she is. And once the uncomfortable conversations are over, then we can kiki. Now, we are in episode 9. I'm not sure how many more episodes we have to go, but I would think by the 9th episode, these ladies should know what Ebony stands for at this time. But maybe Ebony doesn't know what the other ladies stand for, and maybe that's where the uncomfortable conversations are lying. I will say it's interesting, though, that she equates getting through to Ramona as an experiment. I feel like Ebony is taking it on as a challenge. I think Ebony is going about it where it's like, oh, I'm gonna get this bitch to say she's a Trump supporter on TV. That's how I'm seeing it. I will say, though, that I love Ebony and Sonia as a duo more than Ebony and Leah as a duo. So they finally arrive in Philly to meet the matchmaker. I recognize this girl. She be on Wendy Williams, and helping her out with the hot topics. So is she like a matchmaker on the side too? Does she have a twin? Y'all find out for me in the comments, because I've seen her on Wendy Williams' show and she be helping her out with the hot topic. So Sonia's just telling her background, her likes and dislikes, what she likes in a guy. And Devin says, you know what? I'll already have a guy for you. And the guy sounds good on paper, so I'm guessing we shall see later in the season if she finds a guy for her. The best part of this scene, though, is hearing Sonia say, I'm a grown-ass woman. That just really tickled me. Next scene, we see the other ladies getting ready to pack for Salem. We see Luann yelling at her assistant about putting hats on the bed. Apparently that's bad luck. I had no idea about that. Have y'all? Leah is completely in charge of this trip. I still think Salem is a very interesting place to go. Maybe they could have went to Miami. Just get a nice big house like they did on the season with Dorinda and Tinsley. They had that fabulous, nice Miami house. I think that would have been more fun than Salem, but we'll see. So it's the day of the trip and the ladies are on an actual tour bus. It definitely looks nice and up to standard of what we should see on a Housewives franchise. I bet these ladies didn't have to go and pump their own gas for this tour bus. Could you imagine? I still cannot believe they did that for the Married to Medicine girls. So all the ladies are on the bus now, and I love this chemistry so far. Brashawn really rounds out the group. Later on, we see Luann, Sonia, and Brashawn looking up vibrators to buy for each of them. Now, this is the ridiculousness that I tune in for. Leah lets them know that the first night is going to be a theme. It's going to be latex and lace, and they're going to go to dinner and get tattoos. It's in the same spot. Now, the thought of a tattoo parlor and a restaurant combined, it just sounds unsanitary to me. They finally get to Salem, and the first thing the camera pans to is a cemetery. Typical. The hotel, it looks cute or whatever. I mean, it looks like one of those novelty hotels you see. Already, Ramona is giving the staff demands, asking questions like, when is breakfast? Do we have room service? Is it free room service? Just typical Ramona. Later on, all the ladies are changing into their latex and lace outfits. Ebony looks great. Love it on her. And for the first time, oh my God, I have no problem with Leah McSweeney is wearing. Finally, she looks good and I like her hair. Child, not Sonia saying tweaking and not twerking. Of course. Now, so far, I would say Leah is doing a great job hosting this trip. We see the restaurant, and it's an actual restaurant. So it doesn't look as unsanitary. It doesn't have a tattoo parlor inside the restaurant. Maybe it's just next door or something. The ladies are all seated now, and the topic is everyone wants to hear about Sonia's trip to Philly with the matchmaker. Sonia said she had a great time in Philly with Ebony. She said Ebony was really chill for all you ladies that are interested. Now, why did Sonia bring that up? Why did she do that? She said Ebony didn't talk about race or the movement. The other ladies want her to elaborate, and Sonia was like, well, yeah, some of the other ladies is thinking Ebony is too serious, too preachy all the time. She's basically throwing Ramona and Luann under the bus. The crazy thing is Sonia didn't even talk about the Philly trip. She just talked about her interaction with Ebony, and I'm like, here we go. So now I'm trying to see, when did it go left? Ebony has the floor and she's explaining to the ladies that she knows how to have a good time. But she wants to explain where she fell on certain issues. But as she's speaking, Ramona tries to interrupt her and change the topic. And you know Ebony, she's not gonna allow that shit. So she says, I can kiki with y'all. By the way, it's so funny how kiki, which is like a gay term, has now just become mainstream. So funny. She said, I can kiki with y'all, but I just gotta make sure that no one is aligned with white supremacy. White supremacy. I was like, whoa, the looks on everyone's faces right now. Now, she might not have said that exactly, but that's what she was saying. She wants to make sure that no one is aligned with white supremacy, because in these days, either you're an anti-racist or racist. There's no in between. But she says she doesn't want to have that question in her head that anyone is aligned with white supremacy. It is just so crazy that she's using that term in front of these ladies. And I get it, the awkward conversations, but I'm just like, damn. Like, I would say the majority of this episode, it was fun, it was good, but you know, we had to go back, and I get it. But Luann's face, oh my God. You know I had to do a screenshot. Luann's face. And then Leah's face. Leah's face, she did a big gulp. Like, literally did a gulp. They're like, oh goodness, here we go. Now, Ramona tries to change the subject again, but now Luann wants to know, why would you have any type of question that any of us would be aligned with white supremacy? Luann speaks her piece on it, and Ebony was like, well, speak for yourself. And then she brings up how, you know, Ramona was doing her in the last episode and how she can't talk about race, religion, or creed. Ramona then says, like, well, you're being teachy and preachy about it. I didn't say all that, but you're being teachy and preachy. Ramona then points at Brashawn and says, even she feels the same way. Brashawn is like, well, wait a minute. And before she can even say anything, Luann says, and yeah, and Sonia feels the same way too. And Luann has a point. Sonia said the same thing. Like, she wanted Ebony to lighten up as well. So don't be throwing Luann and Ramona under the bus. So Luann takes her right with her. This is all Sonia's fault. Ebony did not even bring it up, so you can't be mad at her. So now Leah is taking up for Ebony, and she's saying that it's not a matter of her keep talking about race. Her personality doesn't allow y'all to run over her like y'all usually do the new girl in the group, and that's making y'all uncomfortable. Which is a fair point, but now we're just breaking the fourth wall now, because Leah's bringing up that she's like the first black girl in the group in 13 years, and then bringing up the media too. Ramona's then just like, well, she needs to just ignore the media. And Leah is trying to talk, but Ramona's talking over her, and then Leah just loses it and tells her to shut the fuck up. She's a moron, and she's what's wrong with the world. Leah, I will agree, Ramona is what's wrong with the world, so that was a good read. But right now, it's chaos. Everyone is yelling. Ramona tries to get up and goes to the bathroom, but Sean is just trying to get a word in. All the women actually get Ramona to stay, and Bashawn finally gets to speak. She says to Ebony that she understands her intentions, but maybe it's the delivery and how it comes off teachy, preachy, condescending, or whatever. Now, Ebony is taking it in, but she says in her confessional that her and Brashawn just have different approaches to the situation. And I can see Ebony as an Amanda Seales or Angela Rye type who won't let anything fly. But yeah, like, I respect both of their approaches to the situation. I just feel Ebony's approach is creating way more conflict. And it's not even about being uncomfortable. It's just the injection of the topic in certain situations don't call for it. Now, please check these ladies at any time. I just feel like it's being injected in a way that it's not getting through to the other ladies, and it's being seen as condescension. I don't know, like, what do y'all think? Because it is so hard to review this because I really do like Ebony. But Lord, the backlash from white and black people, it's been overwhelming, you know? And I'm trying to see both sides because there is nuance in this. So Ebony is finishing her thought and she's saying it's her right to express herself as a free and liberated person in this country. But Ramona is not backing down. She's saying, but you're living a great life. Oh man, I hate that excuse. I mean, just because Ebony is living a good life and is privileged doesn't mean that she can't speak on black issues. Ramona then says she wants Ebony's life. Oh, this is getting so zany. Now then Ebony just lays out the question to Ramona. Ebony tells Ramona that she feels that they're close to sisterhood, but it's hard because she doesn't want to have an outstanding question as if Ramona is aligned with white supremacy. Again, that word. So then Leah wants her to break it down for the other ladies, just so it doesn't come off as she trying to call Ramona a Klansman or something. Now Brashawn's face is like, what did I sign up for? I mean, if we're trying to get through all the bullshit, Ebony's just trying to figure out, is Ramona racist or not? That's basically what she's saying. Child, so now we're talking about Donald Trump. Oh, goodness. She's saying that Trump is a white supremacist, but it won't bother her if you voted for Trump just because of taxes and you're a conservative. But if you voted for Trump because he's a white supremacist, then that's not okay. Now, Ebony, I don't think they're going to admit that, ever. She wants Ramona to say, I voted for Trump so bad. But Ramona will not give it to her. It's getting dicey now. So now Leah's bringing up to Ebony, well, there is footage of you saying nice things about Donald Trump. And then you said your mom voted for Donald Trump too. So now it's getting real, like we're going down the rabbit hole now, y'all. And I know this is the part where everybody was just checked out. Because now they're talking about the election. Brashawn's even saying, you know what, it's not going anywhere. It's really not. But Ebony wants to continue talking about it. Ramona just gets up and leaves. Leah begs the question, so does a vote for Donald Trump mean a vote for white supremacy? Ebony says no, but I don't know, sis. I think if anybody voted for Donald Trump, then you're supporting white supremacy. See, it's a dicey road. It's a dicey road. It really is. Ramona is gone. We see her walking down the hallway. She's done. Leah is now telling Ebony that Ramona can't have these conversations. She can barely get a hold of the English language, let alone politics. I'm glad we have some light moments in this. Ramona comes back, makes the situation more awkward. Let's play a game. Let's play a game. Let's play a game. Everyone's like, bitch. Sit down. Everyone looks exhausted, and I'm pretty sure, y'all, the audience is just as exhausted. And the look on Brashawn's face looking at Ramona, she's like, oh, I see why people say what they say about you. And now Sonia wants to change the subject. Girl, you started this. You started this conversation. Ramona has had it. She really has. Leah's telling her, we just have to get through this. Ramona's like, we go through this all the time. Every time she's here, we talk about this. Ebony's like, well, I'm still black. Ramona's like, oh, I'm still white. Lord. Jesus Christ. I'm still white. Oh man, this is all so cringe. After that, Luann just had enough. Luann grabs her pocketbook and gets up. Soon as they're talking about black and white, she had enough. At this point, I had enough too. I'm just like, y'all, please. I just want to hear about the matchmaker. Everybody just start getting up. So now 3 people just left the area, and now it's just Ebony, Brashawn, and Leah sitting down now. And we have it to be continued. And that's the end of the episode, y'all. I mean, it started out so well the first 45 minutes, first 50 minutes, and then it just went to hell, to racial hell. Y'all, you know what? I'm so torn. I really am so torn. Because now, like, I have friends telling me this is the worst season ever. Again, I want to know y'all comments on this. I looked on Twitter and people are tired. And they say they're not having fun anymore with the show. But I cannot wait to see where this goes. I'm enjoying the season still. I'm not going to give up on it. I've had people tell me they're going to stop watching the show. I'm going to stick with the show. I still love it. I'm still entertained at the end of the day. But yeah, y'all, I'll see y'all for the next episode. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all later. Bye.